What's up, wrestling fans? Welcome to another episode of the Smark Out Moment Smack Talk podcast. It's time for us to do the mailbag questions that you guys have submitted for November. So thank you for sending those in. The people that are going to be answering them for this edition are, of course, myself, as always, Tony Mango. And joining me on this edition, I've got Kalen Ferris.
What's happening, everybody?
What is the hap?
I don't know. What's the hap on the crap?
Sounds like a Dr. Seuss.
Hap on crap?
Yeah. It's when he got all dark.
Yeah.
Fuck hop on pop. We're not going to have hap on crap. Just this little poop emoji, and it's got, I don't know what hap would be, but a little happy face, I guess.
Well, the kids love the poop emoji, so I'm sure it would sell millions of copies.
It's the story of a happy poop emoji. There you go. I just wrote a fucking book. They're going to option it for the sequel of the Emoji Movie. So, if you are unfamiliar with what the mailbag is, it's kind of our version of crossover between the Smark Out Moment type stuff and the all talk show of yesteryear, where we just sort of, I don't know, talk about a bunch of random things, because some questions are about wrestling, some are about completely unrelated stuff. It's a way for you to get to know us better and for us to kind of just, I don't know, let our hair down and get a little hap on crap, apparently. But let's start getting into some of these questions here. Some of them are going to be pretty quick. Some of them are going to be a little bit more detailed, per usual. You guys know the score by now. Start off with some of the questions from Peter Piccinini. What was the most seen and best costume you saw from Halloween? He saw Evie daughter and the evil queen from Snow White and Mal's daughter from Maleficent of the Descendants. I've heard a lot about this Descendants thing. I don't know really anything about it. I know my niece is like super into it, but I kind of don't care to listen. So it'll be like, this is Mal, and I'm like, yeah, right. Well, what do you want for your snack? That's the end of the story. Like, I didn't really see any good Halloween costumes this year. I only went to Dace's party, and a lot of people kind of phoned it in, and it sounds kind of selfish to say it, but the best dressed were Caroline and I. We were Batman and Catwoman.
Oh, cool. There you go. I only went to one Halloween party this year. Usually, I was invited to a bunch, but they were all on the same night. I think it was Saturday the 28th or something like that.
I think that was Dace's too.
Yeah. Like everybody was having a party, so I had to choose. Plus, I think I had to work that night. Yeah, I had to work a show. I was announcing at Northwest Ohio Wrestling, so it's not like I could party hop too much. So after I was done at my announcing gig, went to my girlfriend's house where she was having a house party. And that was cool. Not a lot of, I don't think there were any duplicate costumes. So I don't want to say the most seen. I saw some people online, a lot of people posting, the typical pirates and clowns and, stuff like that. But as far as the best costume, oh, by the way, my costume, I was a dinosaur. I just went to the store and bought one of those zip up onesies, and I was a Tyrannosaurus. That was fun. As far as best costume, I don't know. My girlfriend made a Batgirl costume, which was cool. She made it herself, like sewed it and everything. And
now I have to ask, which Batgirl? Did we get the purple Batgirl with the Barbara Gordon thing? Did we get Paralyzed Oracle? Did we have Cassandra Cain?
The one from the anime, the oh gosh, what is the name of the one anime? I'm missing out on it here. From
like anime?
Well, the newer cartoon.
The Killing Joke?
Maybe.
Oh, that would be Barbara then.
From the DC superhero girls. I don't know. I'm trying to look it up here in Google Images.
It's probably Barbara. I mean, she is the main Batgirl.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it was Barbara Gordon, but just trying to picture exactly. I'm trying to find the exact costume, but I don't know. Anyways, it was cool. She actually put effort into it. Another person at the party I liked was dressed as Harpo Marx, which I loved because I'm a huge Marx Brothers fan. I don't think a lot of people there appreciated it or got it.
Would you say that you're a Marx for it?
Harpo Smarks, huh?
New segment coming to Smark Out Moment.
Where we just rate everything with those horns.
You know what you should have done with her being Batgirl? You should have said that you were the T-Rex in the Batcave.
Oh, that's exactly what I was.
That's awesome. Then you could have gotten somebody to be a giant penny.
Oh, God. What's a penny worth?
What's a Pennywise? Actually, there were a lot of Pennywise people that, not like a Dace's party in particular, but this year Pennywise was big. So I know that was something that a lot of people had done around the internet and stuff.
Oh, another thing that I saw too, and this was the week prior to Halloween, so it was probably around, I don't know, the 24th or so. It was like a week before Halloween, and I am driving just in a random part of town, driving down the street, and in this residential neighborhood, and standing on the corner is a guy in a full creepy clown costume, just waving to cars as they go by.
Yeah, fuck that.
And it was fucking great. It made my day. I was so happy. I couldn't believe it. That made my Halloween, just seeing this guy, because had it been on Halloween, it wouldn't have been as good, but it was a week before, and it was not even like on a busy intersection or anything. So that was kind of cool, just seeing this random creepy clown. And it was the scary kind of clown too. It wasn't like a happy one. It was definitely a creepy clown. So I loved it. Shout out. Even
better is if he just starts doing it in the middle of March.
I know, that's what I was saying too. That's the only way it would have been better if it was, just in the middle of summer or spring or something. And I'm all for that. So give me more of that, please.
Question number 2 here. I'm going to totally lose track of the number of questions, so it's probably the last time you're going to hear me say that. Has anybody seen the Pokemon I Choose You movie? He thinks that it was a pretty standalone movie, but pretty good, and that they kind of had a little bit of middle fingers to like the old time fans that used to watch the series and stuff. I haven't seen it. It does look like a bit of a retcon, but I don't know. I mean, I haven't been able to stomach that show itself since I was, I think, in like 6th grade. But it might be worth a look. Why not, right?
I did not see it. I've heard a little bit about it. I thought that, I don't know, after, gosh, I don't know how many years, but I watched the first cartoon, some of the other variations that they did, when they had the different generations of Pokemon come. And then I also watched a lot of the movies, like the first, 10 movies or whatever that they did.
More than I did. I think I watched the first 3.
Missed the last couple. Did not see this one, but I did hear the uproar about Pikachu speaking English.
What?
Did you hear about that? Yeah, Pikachu, like there's a spot. I'll share a clip with you too on YouTube. I saw it. It was somebody was recording it in the theater, just a small clip of it. And it's part where Pikachu like says words in English to Ash. And the whole crowd is like, "Oh, what the fuck?" That's what I would have reacted to. It's like, that's Pikachu says his name. He does not say other English words. That's ridiculous.
Is it just like the setup for that Detective Pikachu movie? Like they're testing the idea that he could speak English and see what everybody's reactions are? Or is it just sort of like, "Oh, Pikachu, like, I'm so glad that you're my favorite Pokemon." And he just goes like, "Yo, sup?"
Yeah, it was Ving Rhames doing the voice, which is weird. No,
it'd be great if it's just a quote from Pulp Fiction.
But other than that,
your ass goes down in the 5th.
Right.
Technically, your ass faints in the 5th.
I'd be willing to watch it, but just hearing that part about it kind of sours me on it.
Yeah, it's not something on my to-do list. I needed to watch The Room first. So, watched that recently.
Amazing.
So
no,
good.
Not so much.
It's so terrible. I loved it.
Yeah, it's terrible. That's right.
I've gotten it stuck in my brain recently. Like, I've noticed that I've been, like, the laugh that he has been, like, embedded in my brain for a while. Just said, ha 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 ha. Question 3. I remember what question we're on. It's not too hard. It's only the 3rd one. Who do you think is a better commentator, David Otunga or Booker T? Easily Booker T.
Easily, yes. David Otunga, man. Remember those great David Otunga lines? No, it never was.
Yeah, at least Booker's entertaining. He's weird, but he's entertaining. Otunga is just boring.
Yeah, I don't remember ever enjoying anything David Otunga says.
No. And I kind of hope that, I mean, I don't know about the whole situation that he's going on with his soon-to-be ex-wife and that whole thing. It's like, of course, who's at fault for what, and you don't really know. but I kind of hope that that's like the way to usher him out of the company. I don't want to see Otunga anymore.
No, I don't want him to fall on hard times, but I think he's very bland, and I don't think he should be on the microphone.
Nope. He could just be a lawyer somewhere. Just
yeah. I wish him well in his future endeavors. Just get off my TV, please.
The follow-up question for this is, do you think Booker T dislikes Jason Jordan because Booker is kayfabe Jason's real dad?
What? Not sure where you get that one, but all right.
I think it's funny, though, that he seems to hate him for, like, no reason. Because he said that, like, in, like, real interviews that he just doesn't really like him. So it's like, why don't you like Jason Jordan? Like, what's the problem? He seems like a nice guy. Doesn't seem like he would rub people the wrong way.
I'm hoping they do something with his character, because that's just not, I don't know. I thought for sure at Survivor Series he was going to come out there and turn heel, but
I think they're working on something.
Yeah, we'll see.
Who is the better Indian champion? The man that was world champion and competed in the Punjabi prison 10 years ago, or the man who was champion this year and competed in the Punjabi prison? So Kali or Jinder Mahal? I'm going to go Kali, even though Jinder Mahal is the better wrestler.
I'm going to say Jinder Mahal is better because Kali cannot cut a promo.
Jinder Mahal's not really all that great at it either, though.
No, but he can say something that's intelligible.
Yeah, that's true. Although, like, you got to weigh which one's better. Jinder Mahal cutting the type of promos that he was doing versus Kali not needing to and just being a big presence, you know?
Never a big Kali fan.
Never a great Kali fan?
Never that either.
Who do you think Kurt Angle and Triple H will face at Mania? This is really tough.
One another.
It's got to be either one another or that whole theory of Triple H versus Braun Strowman happens, which leads Kurt Angle to I don't know where. Because it could be Jason Jordan, but I don't think so. It could be Daniel Bryan. And I'm really starting to get suspicious that Daniel Bryan versus Kurt Angle could end up happening.
I'd like to see that.
Right now, though, I don't think Shane is in the mix. And it's hard to tell.
I don't know. I could see him doing both of those. Kurt Angle versus Triple H. And on the other brand, you could do Shane versus Daniel Bryan.
I don't think they're going to do that. I think if Daniel Bryan does it, he's going to come back for somebody better. I think it's either Kevin Owens or like a Seth Rollins maybe, or like, you know, a Kurt Angle. Like some kind of a match that he would be really like into.
That would be cool if Daniel Bryan put Kevin Owens over.
Yeah. I mean, he'd have to a certain extent.
Oh, yeah.
I still think that Bryan would probably win the match, but it would probably be like right afterward he'd get powerbombed or something like that. Do you think if James Storm returns to WWE in the Royal Rumble, or if that does happen, could we see Storm versus Rude at WrestleMania? No and no. I think if he comes back, he's going to go back to NXT for a little bit.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's too early.
Yeah, way too early. I think that they need to kind of punish him a little bit for leaving. Just like stick with NXT, be a big fish in a small pond, come up to SmackDown after WrestleMania at the earliest.
I think that's still too early.
I would say the same, but
yeah.
This one's funny. Why did Braun Strowman get out of a white and go into a red garbage truck? Wizard did it.
Yeah, Wizard did it. No, I just thought that all the garbage trucks were connected by some magical portal, so you could go in one and come out any other garbage truck in the world.
Kind of like the ring, right?
Yeah.
You got people that disappear under the ring all the time, and magical kendo sticks appear.
Mm-hmm. It's a magical gateway.
Apologize, everybody. I'm still sick, as you can tell by my horrible voice. Does the Universal title not have a rematch clause? Balor, Owens, and Goldberg never got a rematch. I think that just goes to show how little WWE cares about logic sometimes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's not much consistency with that.
Look at the 30-day rule.
Yeah.
That's like, hey, it's been 26 days. We're going to take you out of your title if we want to for the storyline. It's been 6 months. You don't need to do anything. I mean, Dean Ambrose, that United States title, when the hell did he defend that one?
Right.
He was like 4 times in a year or something like that, I think. It was bad.
It's just frustrating from a storyline sense that they're not consistent with the rules. You know, it's just only convenient they bring it up. So when it serves them.
Yeah, and they prioritize certain things over certain other things. You could always tell that it's like, we want to put that belt on Goldberg. It doesn't matter what happens before. It doesn't matter what happens after. We need to give that title run to Goldberg.
Mm-hmm. And it's like we've known since Mania last year that they're building up to Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns at this Mania, and Roman Reigns is going to win the title. For a year, you know, the whole year we know that this is what it's going to be. So
for more than a year, because we knew when Kevin Owens was announced to fight Goldberg at Fastlane.
Yep.
So it was pretty much like just right after the Royal Rumble, all the way up until, I mean, what is it, April 7th or something is WrestleMania? So it's like,
yeah.
I would just love if it was an April Fool's joke, though. Just a year in the making. April 1st comes along and they're like, it's not Roman Reigns, it's somebody else.
I mean, I'm not looking for a swerve just for the sake of a swerve, but I don't want it to be so predictable that you can see it over a year away, you know?
It's the same with this Intercontinental title reign. It's like, all right, well, he won the title just so you can say he won every title except for the Universal title, even though right now they're already saying that he won every title, which is, no, he didn't.
Yeah, that's true.
And he's going to drop it to, like, Samoa Joe at the Royal Rumble or something. Like, it's just, that's the way that it is. He'll do really well in the Royal Rumble and he won't win. Shinsuke Nakamura is going to win. And Roman will win the Elimination Chamber. There you go.
Unless Roman, yeah, I could see that. Unless Roman drops it sooner and he wins the Rumble again. But
I don't think that's happening. They already announced that, or well, they somewhat announced that Elimination Chamber is a Raw pay-per-view.
Oh shit! Yeah, okay, you're right.
So if Lesnar defends the title with the Royal Rumble, he won't do it again at Elimination Chamber. And really, there's no other way that you could do the Elimination Chamber without it being for the number 1 contender spot. So that has to be the Raw person. So that has to be Roman Reigns. It's like the whole domino effect. It's like you're booking backwards almost, you know?
That's exactly it.
Would have been so much happier if it would have just been Braun Strowman winning that title.
Gosh, that would have been great. I was really hoping for that, but yeah.
He was killing it. He was doing so good. I mean, he's doing just as well now, but you know. Let's move on to another set of questions here from Frankie. Who is the most underrated and overrated wrestler on the mic right now and all time? This was tough for me.
Wow.
I ended up saying it could work for both. Kurt Angle.
Underrated and overrated?
Oh, wait, I didn't even factor that in. Underrated and overrated. I thought overrated for right now and all time, because I thought about like the way that he's talking now, he sucks. And I couldn't really remember that great of promos that he had cut that didn't sound like they were still a little bit wooden. A lot of people talk about Kurt Angle being a great talker. I don't think he really is. I think he's just okay. Underrated. I didn't even think about that one. I totally skipped that on my
yeah,
my
no,
notes.
that's fine.
Say yours, and I'll come back to me.
As much as I do or did like him on the mic, I think, and yes, I'll give him credit for the pipe bomb, but I think CM Punk was not as good on the mic as people said. I know I'm going to get a lot of hate for that, but I was never really a big Punk mark, especially with the promos that he cut. It was all right. I mean, he's no Rock, but I don't know. It didn't connect with me the way it connected with other people. I'll just say that. And that maybe that's just on me. Maybe I just don't get it. As far as all time, well, that would be all time then, I guess. As far as right now, the most overrated, shit, I don't know. I'm not a big fan of Elias. A lot of people are saying Elias is killing it. But it's like, he's all right.
I'm liking him.
I don't know. Do you think about the underrated yet?
I've been trying to think. Yeah, I don't know. There's some names that pop up to me that I go, well, they should get a little bit more credit, but it's like, is The Miz really underrated? You know?
Yeah, see, I'm Miz is great though.
That's the thing. Like, he's fantastic, but I think people kind of realize it.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if I would put him as underrated.
Right. Gosh, I know. I'm trying to think of it too. I'm going through a list of superstars here right now, trying to find somebody. I don't know.
I'm going to browse another list of somebody else's.
Yeah.
See if I can come across this. Oh, this person, they're saying underrated is like, you know what? Actually, maybe I would give credit to this. Underrated being Big Show sometimes. He pulls out some good promos.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, this person says Brock Lesnar. She's terrible. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Actually, this person just popped into my mind. Jerry Lawler.
As a commentator or wrestler or what?
Underrated on the mic.
Yeah.
I think that he really doesn't get as much credit as he deserves. He was great on the mic back when he was wrestling.
Right.
I mean, his promos with Bret Hart were like, he saved those. Bret Hart's never been a great talker.
Yeah, I can see that. Gosh, I don't know. I'll have to think about that one.
Yeah, we'll come back to it if we can think of another one. We got a couple food-related ones.
All right, we love these. Thanks, guys.
I don't have these in order, so we're going to bounce around to a couple of them here and there, but
all right.
Apples or grapes? I'm going to go apples.
Yeah. And what's the favorite variety of apples there, Tony?
I don't know. I just want them to be really crispy, cold, and a little bit on the sour side.
Okay. My favorite are Honeycrisp. Those are my favorite variety of apples. Got some of them sitting on my table right now, getting ready for me to eat. Also like Gala apples. Those are good. Jazz apples are okay. But Honeycrisp is where it's at. Grapes can be okay, but not as good as apples.
Tell you what, though, grapes are good, but I hate grape-flavored absolutely anything.
Oh, see, I'm kind of the opposite. I prefer grape-flavored stuff to actual grapes most of the time.
Well, if we're ever at some kind of a buffet and both sides need to be eaten, I'll eat the normal grapes, you'll eat the grape-flavored stuff.
That works.
I can't stand, like grape, like, candy or...
Oh, man, that's good.
I used to hate grape medicine.
Grape Kool-Aid.
Ugh. Well, I don't like Kool-Aid as it is, but...
Grape soda? No? None of that?
No soda.
Yeah.
No soda at all.
I mean, I try not to, but I'll have a grape soda once in a while.
Dunkin' Donuts or Starbucks? I'm not a coffee drinker either, so that kind of tilts everything towards Dunkin' Donuts, even though Dunkin' Donuts is like, they make more money by coffee than anything else. I haven't had Starbucks all that often either, so like, I've had like some kind of a blondie or something from there that was really good, but generally speaking, even though the Dunkin' Donuts donuts suck compared to like, I had this Amish market around me. My God, it's fucking amazing. It's so good. When Caroline was up here, somewhat recently, I've been getting her to try some different food that she's never had before. Like one of the most recent things I got her to try were Funyuns.
Gosh.
She's like, oh, these are pretty good. And I'm like, yeah, they're weird. Like, they're oddly good. But she tried the Amish market donuts, and she had this look of like pure ecstasy on her face, and she was just like, this is my favorite thing that I've had in a long, long time. And I'm like, I know, isn't it? And she talked about it for like the next like 2 or 3 days or whatever. The next time she came back up, she's like, do you think we should get those Amish market donuts again? I'm like, yeah. They're so fucking good. But Dunkin' Donuts gets the win for me because they've got like breakfast sandwiches, they've got like the muffins, the donuts, you know, the munchkins alone beat out like, I mean, I don't give a shit about coffee. So
I'm
Starbucks,
a big coffee
you need
drinker,
to step up your game.
But I honestly, I don't know, don't go to places like that too much because I don't want to pay $4 or $5 for a cup of coffee. You know, I'm good with just I go into places like that and I order just a regular black coffee and they look at me like I'm a freak.
You don't want some mocha venti latte twist with a special pattern on it or anything?
Yeah, no, everybody, a lot of people, I would say probably majority of people go in there and they get these super sweet, sugary drinks. That's not my style. I'd rather have something a little bitter. Maybe I'll put a little bit of skim milk or a little bit of cream in it, but no sugar, no crazy syrups or anything like that. Occasionally, I'll get like a what's it called, chai latte. I like those. I'll say for Dunkin' Donuts versus Starbucks, I go to Dunkin' Donuts more often, which is maybe 2 times a year compared to 1 time a year for Starbucks. I don't really frequent either of those, but I do drink a lot of coffee at home and if I'm, out at places, but I don't really stop at those too much. But you mentioned Funyuns, and actually I just remembered about a month or so ago, I had a similar situation where my girlfriend didn't know Funyuns. So I bought a bag. We were hanging out watching movies, and I had her try Funyuns for the first time, and she liked them. That's so weird.
Funyuns are they're a surprise little treat once in a while. It's like you forget that they exist every so often.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I used to eat them all the time when I was a teenager, but I hadn't had them in years. We were looking at snacks at the store. I said, "Oh, Funyuns! What about those?" Also, along the lines of Funyuns, what do you think about Munchos? Do you like those?
I've actually never had them.
I think they're made by the same company.
They're the ones that are shaped like a hand, right?
I mean, they're kind of like
that's the monster something. I think
scoop shaped or something. They're light, very light and airy and puffed and very crispy. Give those a shot too. Yeah, try
to pick them up.
Yeah, they're usually like right next to the Funyuns.
Let's see what we got. Oh, another food related one. What's your favorite candy? He says he would go with Kit Kats, M&M, Hershey, and Crunch. I'm going to give you a good list here because I don't know if I can pick. I would probably say Reese's Peanut Butter Cups and Nutrageous are like my favorite. But I've been really into Mr. Goodbar the past few years.
Those are good. Yeah.
And there's this Oreo Milka bar that is phenomenal. So if you haven't picked that up yet, go ahead and try that. Generic Hershey's, still great. Still love Butterfinger, but a better version of it is the Fifth Avenue.
Mm-hmm.
That's definitely better. Candy's just awesome.
I'm not a huge chocolate fan. I mean, once in a while I get a craving for chocolate, but most of the time I prefer like fruity type candy. But when I am in a chocolate mood, I do like Kit Kats. Those are all right. I do like some Reese's Peanut Butter Cups. Those are bomb. I do like whatchamacallit. That's one of my favorites. I do like Take Five. I don't remember the name. That's another one. Take Five, whatchamacallit. Those are both good. I'm trying to think of other chocolatey type ones. Like sometimes a good solid Snickers will do me good, but
yeah, it's that's one of those things where caramel to me, I have to feel like eating it to really enjoy it. But if you give me like a Milky Way, I'm gonna be like, meh. You give me a Snickers, I'll enjoy it a hell of a lot more.
Oh yeah. But as far as other candy, like I said, I typically prefer fruity type candy. So I like, Laffy Taffy and Airheads. I like Nerds and
Nerds.
I didn't even mean that. Bottle caps and of course gummy worms and gummy bears. There's a bulk candy shop, a retro candy shop near my house, and I'll go there and you can buy gummy bears and other gummy stuff. I've said gummy a lot. Stop saying gummy so much.
You can beat me to
it. You can buy basically individual flavors. So I will go there and I will buy a pound of green apple gummy bears. Back to the apple again.
The new favorite apple.
Yeah, man, those are good. I want some. I haven't had those in a while. Those are good. I also like the little cherry sours. The little, I don't know what size you would call that. Little marble-sized cherry sours. Those are good.
You know what I haven't had in a long time, but I'm kind of craving right now? Those orange slices.
Yeah, those are okay. The peach rings are good, though. You ever have those peach rings?
Those I'm not as big on. I do like the little watermelon
What about
the ones?
The twin cherries, little gummy twin cherries. Those are good.
That's not ringing a bell.
Oh twin man, cherries. I want some candy. I got to go to the candy shop. All right, everybody, we're gonna stop the podcast now. And
I know I'm getting so hungry.
Any of the Willy Wonka shit, I like all that stuff.
What's this question? Now, I watched Total Divas because I wanted to see what Nia Jax and Alexa Bliss were up to, and the episode had Jax and Maurice getting into an argument. Maurice says that she has as much to do with the women's revolution as any woman because she climbed her way through to get time on matches. What's your opinion on that? I think there's an argument for that. It's not like one or two women fixed everything. If that would have been the case, then Lita and Trish would have been able to do it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a mixture of things. You need to slowly work your way up, and you needed people like Mickie James, and you needed people like Beth Phoenix, and if we would have just had Maria and all them, then it wouldn't have gone anywhere. But the Four Horsewomen did more than I think almost anybody.
Yeah, I think in recent years has made the most impact. And it's not, I mean, yes, a lot of it, most of it is on the women themselves. But I also have to say that part of it is due to the, creative, to giving them the opportunity. Because if you don't give them an opportunity to prove themselves, they're not going to advance. So I think it's multifold. You get the people in the back who are giving them the opportunity. Then they have to take that opportunity, run with it, and prove themselves. And then they're able to earn more opportunities, and it kind of snowballs that way. So you prove yourself on this level, you can go up to the next level, and so on. And then so we've seen, like with Sasha Banks versus Bayley and matches like that get huge attention, and they're fantastic matches when they give them that kind of freedom and opportunity to prove themselves. They can really succeed. And so I'm glad that they've had those type of opportunities lately.
Yeah, I always write my answers ahead of time before we do the podcast. So I'm looking at my answers usually when I'm going through this, and I have written on there, it says, even though this is like such a male thing to say, that part of the credit has to go to Triple H for being willing to pull the trigger. Because if he wouldn't have done it, I don't think Vince McMahon would have ended up pushing these people.
No, I agree. And it's part of the old way of thinking versus a more modern way of thinking. We're going to see a lot of changes in the company once Triple H has more control, once Vince passes. And I think for the most part, it's probably going to be for the better, because we're going to get, because they're still holding on to some of those old mentalities. And I think the business needs to evolve more than it has already.
Yeah, I think that we're going to see a big, big change like 2 years after Vince eventually moves on.
Mm-hmm.
I was going to say kicks the bucket. Oh, that sounds kind of mean. But then there could be some bad ones too. Like we could get some structural problems that Vince was like really good at maintaining and everything like that. But as far as the women's division goes, that's certainly been better.
Yeah, I'm really pleased with how it's changed just in the last 5 years.
I think that Maurice makes a good point. She did get a little bit more attention here and there, and if it wasn't for her and Eve Torres and plenty of other women like that would have tried to keep everything going, then they would have probably dropped off the whole division, We could have ended up with like, oh God, what was her name? Brooke, I think was her name, the one that was a runner-up for Eve on the Diva search, and clearly didn't want to be a wrestler, was just there for like a modeling competition. She was cute, but it was like, she's not going to be a wrestler. And we could have just had a bunch of women like that, and it could have just been a beauty pageant again, and we could have just had Tori Wilsons all over the place, which would have been fun for the guys, but not for the women.
Yeah, I'm glad it's moved away from that.
Yeah, me too. If I wanted to check out porn, I'd go to Pornhub. Still need some crossover though. Alexa Bliss. Would you rather make out with why was this the one that came right afterward? Would you rather make out with Braun Strowman or the Big Show?
I don't know. I'd have to say Big Show, because I'm not because Braun Strowman's a more hairy dude, I guess, typically, and Big Show has sported more of a smooth look sometimes. So not into big hairy people. So Big Show, as long as he has everything, no beard or anything like that.
I mean, if I wanted to go to porn, I'd just the thing I had written down on here says, "Oh God, that sounds terrible. I guess Strowman, but I'd be worried that he would say he wasn't finished with me."
Yes.
I think I wrote this question's answer like a month ago.
That's great.
I don't remember that at all. Do you know the YouTuber Valina? She's very dumb and annoying. No idea who she is.
Let me do a quick search here just so I can see it. YouTuber Valina.
I think that most people on YouTube are pretty annoying. So.
Okay, it looks like she talks about wrestling. No, I don't know her.
Valina, if you're watching this, are you annoying? Are you dumb? We're being told that you are, but I haven't checked out your stuff.
If you're watching this on YouTube, drop a link to one of her videos. It's representative in the comments below so we can check it out and judge for ourselves, and we can report back next time.
Drop a link to some other mailbag on some other show where they go, do you know the YouTubers, Smark Out Moment? They're very dumb.
They were just talking about you. They have no idea who you are.
Have you been anywhere outside of the United States? Not yet, but I will eventually.
Never even been to Canada?
Nope. Never even been to the opposite coast.
Shit. I've been to Canada a few times, but that's it.
Furthest I've been is Florida.
Oh, wow. No, I've been to California, been through Colorado and Utah and Texas, and I've been kind of all around, most of the United States. I haven't been to the Northeast yet, but I've been to Canada, and that's about it.
Bunch of people with their beady eyes and flapping heads.
Right. They're not even a real country anyway.
They're all friends, though, guy.
Nah, shit, buddy.
Have you ever been to Disney World? If so, what's your favorite ride? Yes, and that is when I was in Florida. I went to Disney World 3 times, I think. You can kind of count. I went one when I was really, really little. I think I was something like 7 or so. And I went for my senior trip in high school, which was great. The best out of all 3 trips. And then eventually one time I went as I was going to drop my sister off because she was going to be doing an internship, and ended up deciding not to do it the day that she was signing up for it. So we drove down to there. We took like a 2-day drive and hung out for a day and then drove right back. But I don't remember what my favorite ride was, because when you're a kid, you can't really go on a lot of the rides. So that probably was something dumb like, I don't know, like some kind of like Peter Pan, you can barely move off the ground type of flying ride. But I do kind of remember the rock and roller coaster being fun. And I had more fun actually in Disney for my senior trip doing other stuff than actually like the rides themselves. Because we were doing some weird stuff. Like, we went one day to Animal Kingdom and then to Epcot. We kind of crammed them both in one day. And we were really tired because that was like a jet lag type of thing. And we were just sort of like the initial buzz of being like, woo, like we're all seniors, we're all going on this trip and all that stuff was just starting to like fade away. So we were all just out of it, tired and just loopy. And when you get like really tired, everything's funny. We were just running around. It was pouring rain. And we were running around taking bottles of water and dumping it on each other's heads. Mind you, it's not me and like 3 other people. It's me and my group of about 30 friends. So Epcot basically gets run over by these, 17, 18-year-olds,
right,
dumping water on each other's heads in the rain, going, fuck, you got me. Now I'm all wet. Like, dumb shit like that. And I remember my friend Frank, we went to the Norway section where they had this like little informative video of like how they used to build ships or something dumb. And you would have thought that he was high, but you couldn't actually obviously bring any like drugs or alcohol because you're on a flight and that kind of a thing. But he was laughing hysterically at like the kid in it for no reason. Kid wasn't even doing anything funny. It was just like that tired loopy thing. And I remember these old people were just looking at us like, these kids are ruining Disney. And it was like, we were having so much fun doing that kind of shit. I don't remember anything about like any rides at Epcot except for the test track, because we were there, or fast track or whatever it was called. We were there in line for like 4.5 hours. And eventually we got to like the part where you get your picture taken on the ride. And totally unplanned, everybody in my car for that looked like we're asleep because we were just so tired and just heat got to us and everything. And yeah, I guess rock and roller coaster, but to me, Disney's more fun when you've got the right people and you just kind of bullshit around.
I have been to Disney World a couple of times. The last time, it's been a long time though. I was really, really young. This last time I was there, I think was the 90s. So it's been a number of years. I don't really remember a lot of the rides. I remember really liking Epcot a lot of all the futuristic kind of stuff. I like that kind of stuff. As far as actual Disney World, let's see. Is it the Haunted Mansion? I don't know. Is that even there anymore? I
It
remember
was
liking
in 2005.
that. Okay. But I
And
like that one,
I
the
think that
kind
it
of
is.
horror, spooky themed. I like that kind of stuff. Because if I'm not going there for the quote thrill rides or the roller coasters, I live about an hour away from Cedar Point in Sandusky, Ohio. So that's one of the best, parks for thrill rides, roller coasters, one of the biggest roller coaster places in the world. So if I'm going to go somewhere for roller coasters, I'm going to Cedar Point. That is a blast going there. So if you've never been to Cedar Point, check that out. If you're in the northern Ohio area, definitely worth the time and stop. But Disney World, I mean, it's cool. I have some friends that even as adults, without kids, just husbands and wives go there. The pairs of them to Disney, and they're all excited. Oh, we're going to Disney World, going to Disney World. It's like, all right, I don't know, it just doesn't really appeal to me, especially how far away it is, how much everything costs. I have no idea what admission is now, but I'm sure it's ridiculous. And just to me, there's better ways I would spend my money if I'm looking for entertainment.
I have cousins that are like literally obsessed with Disney.
Mhm.
Like, I mean, you have a birthday party for a kid, they're gonna get them Disney toys.
Mhm.
It got to the point where when one of them was having a kid, I was like, I hope that they don't name their kid Prince Charming, like that kind of a thing. Where I was like, thankfully they didn't, but they go multiple times a year, and I'm always just like, my God, how many fucking pictures of you in front of the Magic Kingdom do you need?
Mhm.
Like, this is the one from April of 2017. This is one from March of 2017, and then it's like, oh God, Disney's like a couple times in your life, I think. Like, when I eventually have kids, totally going to bring them there.
Yeah.
Maybe twice. I don't think I'm going to need to do it anymore after that. So I think I've got 2 times in my life where I can go, and that's it.
Yeah, I've done it 2 or 3 times in my life, and I just don't feel the need to do it again necessarily. People want to do it, cool, have fun. But isn't Kevin Owens a huge Disney World fan?
Yeah.
Huge Disney fan. Because I see him posting pictures with the mouse ears all the time and stuff.
I'm surprised that he didn't name his kid something like that.
Walt.
Walt Owens.
Walt Jr.
It probably wouldn't be Owens. It would be Walt Steen.
Walt Steen.
Ugh. It sounds like a banking firm.
Have you been injured in an accident? Call Walt Steen.
Walt Steen, Inc. Another question here. Do you watch The Walking Dead? Nope. Tried to give it 1 or 2 or 3 or whatever episodes. They all blended together. I thought it was just not my thing. I'm not really big into zombies. And it sort of seemed like the type of show where it was like, tune in next week. Somebody might die.
Yeah, I agree. I do not watch it. I watched the first, 2, maybe 3 episodes. Couldn't get into it. I was disappointed because I had high hopes for it. Because I do like zombies, but it just wasn't, I don't know, maybe it's the pacing of it or something. It just didn't seem intriguing to me. So I didn't keep up with it. And I don't know, people rave about it. So cool that they like it, but I don't particularly care for it. I don't follow it.
The only zombie related thing I remember liking is Zombieland.
That was more of a comedy, I would say, than.
Yeah, but still zombie related.
Sure. What do you think about, did you see Shaun of the Dead?
Nope. Haven't seen
you should
it.
watch that one. That's a good one.
I watched Hot Fuzz and I wasn't impressed.
Do you like those guys?
I think
Simon
their style
Pegg,
of
Nick
humor
Frost.
probably doesn't mesh with me. So I haven't given them another chance. So maybe, but
Hot Fuzz I think is great. That's one of my favorites.
We got another food related question here.
Hey,
are you a fan of pickles? Absolutely hate them. Absolutely. If I get a Chick-fil-A sandwich and they've got the pickle still on it, I send it back. I mean, that's not even like take it off and wipe it down. It's like, no, that permeates the bun.
Mm-hmm. See, I am a fan of pickles, but I agree that it overpowers everything. Whenever I order burgers or any other kind of sandwich or food, I do not want pickles on it, because if I order a cheeseburger and there's pickles on it, that's all I can taste.
It's a pickle sandwich.
Yeah, I don't like that. I can't taste any of the other ingredients because pickles are that overpowering. That said, I like them by themselves. I'll eat pickles. I especially like the Tony Paco's pickles and peppers. There's like spicy kind of a pickle. Comes with like banana pepper rings and the little thick cut pickles that are kind of have a hot pepper spice to them. Those are good. And I'll go for some pickle spears. But I agree about not having it on other food. It kind of ruins other food. And plus, they'll give you a sandwich, and sure, it's not on it, but they'll give you a big old pickle spear next to it, and all the juice gets soaked up into the bread of your sandwich or something. That pisses me off too.
All over the fries.
Yeah, it's like I like pickles, but fucking just keep them separated.
I don't know how many times I've been at like a diner and had to say the phrase, "Does anybody want this pickle?" and the fries that are next to it, because it's just like you just ruined it, you know. One thing that I think all the time that when it comes to pickles was Rugrats, of course, Tommy Pickles and everything like that. But there's a quote from one of the episodes where there's this big like fat kid or something, and they say something about like Tommy Pickles or whatever, and the kid just goes, "Pickles, I'm hungry," and I remember that just so fucking long ago. It's every time somebody says pickles, that pops in my brain for a second.
And I'm not a Rick and Morty fan, but I know there's a Pickle Rick joke somewhere in there. So go ahead and make that for yourself. Because I see it all over the internet. Pickle Rick, and I watched that part of it, and I was like, oh, okay, yeah.
I've never seen it, but I know that that's a thing for some reason. I just don't get it.
Same. Maybe I'm just too old.
Yeah, maybe it's just because I don't like pickles. Or Rick's. Steiner.
Flair?
He says, I know I might be asking something radical, but what's your opinion on Trump? We kind of talked about this a little bit here and there. I'm going to read what I had written before because I don't remember what I wrote. It looks long enough that it's probably well thought out. All right, well, it starts off with, I think he's a charismatic puppet buffoon. So that starts good. So I think he's a charismatic puppet buffoon who got elected because the DNC were idiots and didn't go with the clear and obvious choice of Bernie Sanders. So it bit them in the ass, and other people who would have voted anti-Republican suddenly found themselves voting for the weird option because they didn't like Clinton. Now everyone's seeing that it's just as bad, if not worse, and it sucks. I expect him to go down in history as one of the worst presidents ever, with one of the worst, absolute lowest approval ratings ever, and certainly not get elected for a second term. Yeah, that pretty much sums it up.
Yeah. Personally, I don't associate myself with being loyal to either the Democratic or the Republican Party.
No, I think it's dumb to do that. You're not giving credit to the people. You're giving credit to like an idea.
That said, I didn't vote for him. I don't think he's really a Republican per se. I judge people based on the decisions they make, and I am not a fan of him or the decisions that he's made. And I guess we're going to see what's going to happen in a few years here. So not a fan. I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah. And I will say, for the people that are listening to this that are probably pro-Trump, doesn't mean that I'm saying that Hillary Clinton or anybody else would have necessarily done better. I don't like any politicians. So I think that they're all screwed. I think that the Federal Reserve and the corporations that lobby these bullshit laws are the real problem more than anything else. You put a Donald Trump in office, I don't like the guy himself. Some things he's said have been funny. Some things he said I agree with. The majority of them I think are kind of gross. And I think that there's a bigger problem than somebody like a Donald Trump being in office. I think the bigger problem is that we just have too many shitty politicians everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
And if we get rid of this net neutrality thing, it's probably going to happen because people that have enough money that can do that, they'll probably just keep pushing until it happens. And that's the kind of stuff that I think is a bigger problem than having somebody who seems kind of embarrassing, you know? But it is what it is. I didn't fucking vote, no matter who would have won. And that's one of the reasons why I didn't really like anything of what was happening. And I don't think, whether it's a Republican or a Democrat, I don't think the next president's going to end up doing a good job either. I think that we're just kind of coasting along. And that's it. Unless it's The Rock. I do think The Rock could end up doing a good job. I sell more of those T-shirts than almost anything lately.
Which design is it?
Vote for The Rock in 2020.
There you go.
That one sells quite a bit. It's weird. I've been getting a lot of like odd sales the past couple of months, like a mug for the Kylo Ren. You need a teacher. So I'm like, I wonder if a teacher bought that. And most recently, one of the things that made me laugh was somebody bought my Lego brick house.
Yeah.
And it was a large woman size.
Oh, that's cool.
And I was like, all right, it worked. But lots of vote The Rock. Like, if I'm selling a lot of those, then who knows? With Wrestle Kingdom 12 looking amazing, can you now say that New Japan might be catching up to WWE? I still don't think so, but I'm going to watch that.
Yeah, I've watched the last 2 Wrestle Kingdoms, I believe, 2 or 3, and I've enjoyed them very much. Before that, I wasn't really hip to it, but especially talking with you guys, and I think we've found a way to watch it, and I enjoy it. So I don't think it's going to be anywhere along the lines of, at least not for me personally, of a WrestleMania or anything like that. But I'm sure I'll watch it. I'm sure I'm going to enjoy it. There's a few matches that look like they're going to be good. Jericho's going to be there, which is cool, facing Kenny Omega. So I think that should be fun.
I'm curious as hell about his entrance.
Yeah, I'm not sure what they're going to do.
And I'll tell you what, I mean, comparing it to WrestleMania, I want to see Kenny Omega versus Chris Jericho. A hell of a lot better than I want to see Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar.
Yeah, I agree.
Even though I'm kind of thinking I know what's going to happen in both matches, but we'll see. Mm-hmm. Do you have Snapchat? I do, but I never really use it. Same thing for Instagram. I'm not a picture-taking type of guy.
I do not have Instagram, but I do have Snapchat. I don't use it very often either. I believe I got to look it up here. I think my Snapchat username is Trivia Cat. So if you want to add me on there, but I rarely post anything. I'm looking it up now. Yeah, something like that.
I tend to do like binge Snapchatting. If I'm either like I'm trying to fall asleep and I'm not tired enough, then I'll post like some dumb stuff, or sometimes I'll be like in a real big music mood and I'll end up like Snapchatting myself like singing a bunch of songs or something like that, but it's been a long while. It's not my thing. What was your best and worst subjects in school? Give me the ones that I can bullshit, and I'm so much better at them. Give me the math and science type things where it's like, if you mess up like 0.05, something will explode. Then I'm not a big fan because it's boring. Like, I hated chemistry class because it was just so like, well, if you take this one and you add point whatever doses of oxygen, then it turns into this type of thing, and barium is the equivalent, and it's, oh my god, I don't care. Why am I going to need to know this? Well, you need to know that sucrose and anything that's ose ends in, or that anything that ends in ose is some kind of a sugar. Okay, well, I don't put sugar in anything, and if I do, I'm going to ask for sugar. I'm not going to be like, do you have any glucose by any chance? Like, no. But I used to be really great at like the film and theater stuff. And I whooped ass at the computer related stuff. I remember I had a keyboarding class that I finished months in advance. The teacher actually told me, you're too far past the rest of the students. Don't do anything else the rest of the year.
Yeah.
And just treat it like a study hall. And I was like, great. And I was just doing all my work the rest of those couple of months. But yeah, give me the English courses where I can bullshit, and don't give me like trigonometry. Never used that in my entire life. I don't know what the hell a cosine is or tangent.
Wow. I'm exactly the opposite. My favorite subjects and the ones that I was best at were math, physics, computer programming, all the logical stuff. Because you have one way of doing things. You know if you're doing it right or not. There's not really a whole lot of room for error. So as long as you follow the rules, then you get the right answer, and it's easy and it goes quickly. I was kind of the same way with my book for math. In one of my classes, the teacher had us working independently. So you go through, you do the worksheets for a chapter of math, you take a pretest, take a post-test or whatever, and you could kind of go at your own pace as long as you had so many done within a certain time. I was just speeding through them. I finished the first book like before a lot of people are even a third of the way through it. I finished the first book within a few months, and she wasn't prepared for that. So she gave me a second book, and I almost completed the second book. And that was, I don't know, it was just so easy because you just do what you're supposed to do. It's just there's rules to it. And the same thing with physics. You just account for all the forces, you do the math, and there's your answer, and there's one correct answer. I don't like the ones that are open for interpretation and bullshit and stuff like English and stuff like that. Not a big fan because, or writing, because I always remember taking the test in school. It would be like, okay, read this 2-page story. All right, now here's multiple choice. What do you think is going to happen next in the story? A, B, C, or D? And it's like, one of them right away, you could say, okay, obviously it's not going to be that one. But then the other one's like, well, I can make reasonable arguments for all of those. I don't know. This person could do that. They could do that. I don't know. So I always had trouble. And of course, I'd pick the wrong one every time. So I struggled with that because I can't read the author's mind of the original selection. So, I mean, I can use logic to figure stuff out, but I cannot read minds. So that was part of it. So I would say, yeah, I'm pretty much exactly the opposite of you, Tony.
So what we need to do is you need to write an essay about how grapes are better, and I need to figure out the science behind how you can make grape flavored things.
Oh, but you were mentioning chemistry. I was not a fan of chemistry either.
Fuck that. Stoichiometry. I don't remember what it is, but I just remember hating that.
Yeah. It was easy, but I did not care for it. Balancing equations, meh.
I think that might have been the course that I struggled the most with because I just couldn't connect to it in like any fashion. At least like bio and stuff. Mm-hmm. It was sort of like, I mean, I didn't really struggle with anything. Like, I mean, I was a member of the Honor Society, so I got, A's and stuff for the most part. Mm-hmm. But it was just like, I couldn't get anywhere with any of that because it's so like you said, like by the numbers, follow the book type of thing. That I end up like, after you do like 3 or 4 math problems, you're like, all right, I get it. Do I need to do any more? And then you end up getting points because deducted because it's like, well, you didn't show your work. And I'm like, because the answer is 8. Like, it's just like, God, the answer is 8. Do I really need to show you that I could do the same math problem 16 times? Like, and then I would just not do it. And, like that kind of a thing.
No, I like that kind of stuff. Yeah. Give me the algebra, the calculus, the geometry. That's good.
Give me the courses. Like I had Warfare in America for an elective for history. One of my favorite courses of the entire time I've ever been in school. Don't remember a goddamn thing about warfare, but the teacher was so good. Mr. Dipner. He was one of my favorites of all time because he was so easy to just get distracted. So you'd just be like, yeah, Mr. Dipner, you like scones? Talk about it for 20 minutes. And we watched Rocky in the class. Like, well, why is that in warfare? I don't know. Like,
because you're in Philadelphia, right? Or near there?
Yeah. So it was just like, that was the type of great stuff. And he was a great teacher, like to just kind of take an easy course and, give me those kind of courses.
Another reason I don't like the other kind of courses like English and other ones where you have to do a lot of writing is because it's subjective, not only for the student, but also for the teacher. If the teacher doesn't like you and or they don't like what you're writing about, they can give you a bad grade.
That is the bad side.
With math and science, even if the teacher hates me, as long as I get the right answer and show my work, they have to give me 100%.
That's true. Yeah, and if you get a bad teacher, that's it. I had a bad English teacher, 9th grade, and he was very problematic. He was pretty much one of those type of teachers. It was just like, if I don't like you, then I'm going to find something to nitpick type of stuff. Mm-hmm. But then again, I had a bad science teacher here and there, so bad teachers suck. That's the takeaway.
Yep.
Did you watch the Ric Flair 30 for 30? Nope.
No, not yet. I heard it was good. I might check it out someday, but it's not on my top priority list.
I kind of had enough of Flair.
Mm-hmm.
Especially after that table for 3. That was awful. Ugh. Where did we live off? Oh, I'm pretty sure that you live near Philly. Yeah, we just talked about that, actually.
Hey.
So are you going to go to the Royal Rumble? I keep having the same damn conversation with all my friends. Everybody keeps going, so are we going to the Rumble or not? And I keep going, motherfucker, I wanted to buy tickets when they first went on sale. Nobody wanted me to buy any tickets for anybody. Let's buy tickets. And then nobody says anything. And then a week or two later, somebody goes, so what's happening with the Royal Rumble? And I go, what the fuck? Like,
Yep.
I know that tickets for NXT are coming on sale too, and I'm thinking about just buying those tickets on my own and just being like, screw it. Like, if anybody's going to go with me, go. If not, I'll sell them. I don't know. I do want to go to the Royal Rumble, but I'm starting to think I'm probably not going to go. The more time that goes by with nobody willing to like commit to anything, it's starting to make me question it, because it's probably going to be like StubHub will be like, $300 for a shitty seat, and I don't want to do that. But I will, at some point, figure out a way to get somebody to go to at least Raw, SmackDown, NXT, or the Royal Rumble. We can't have 4 events in a row that fucking week and not go to one of them.
Right.
Even if we spend $20 and get shitty seats on Raw or something like that. It has to happen. I mean, come on, fuckers. Come on, Chuck.
Yeah.
Come on, Dace. Dane and company. Oh, another food. This is the other section of food questions for a little bit. What's your go-to Chinese and Mexican food?
Oh, now we're talking.
Mexican food, they're all the same.
Pretty much.
Jim Gaffigan did a great joke. He was like, tortilla with cheese, meat, or vegetables. Okay, well, what's a taco? Tortilla with cheese, meat, or vegetables. What's a gordita? It's a tortilla with cheese, meat, or vegetables. Just say a Mexican word and we'll bring you something. They're all good. I mean, don't give me the tomatoes. Don't give me the sour cream. And pretty much everything else I'm good with. Give me like a crunch wrap is really good. Minus those 2 ingredients. But, I mean, lettuce, cheese, and beef, and a tortilla. I'm solid.
Yeah, my go-tos for Mexican are tacos usually, just either beef, or I also really like barbacoa or chorizo. Those are all good. As far as, or nachos can be good, and fajitas, burritos, anything. It is pretty much all the same, but I'll usually just go for hard shell tacos.
I always go soft.
Why is that?
Well, sometimes I see something that's not all enticing, and oh wait, we're talking about tacos.
Hey.
Hard tacos, I tend to get a little annoyed with how I'm eating them.
Yeah.
Like, you take one bite and the whole thing just shatters. And then you have nachos, but like not nachos.
Right.
Not chose.
I like it. I guess, I can go for soft tacos too. Since I eat plenty of the chips and salsa, they give you the free chips and salsa. I go to town on that shit.
See, I don't like salsa because I'm not a big tomato guy.
Oh, geez.
But you give me, we have a place around me called Don Pablo's. And it's probably like other places, probably a chain, I don't know. But they've got like a dip sampler.
Oh yeah, those are good.
And I will replace the guacamole and
I was gonna say, you don't eat guacamole, you don't like salsa, you don't eat anything spicy. What the fuck do you just mild cheese on your chips? What the hell?
The queso blanco is really good, but I do like the
Are you sure it's not too
beans.
Spicy for you?
Well, the hot refried beans are pretty good. They're spicy, but
Yeah. Oh, my mouth is on fire. Jesus.
Man, I had Chipotle one time. Fucking hated it. Terrible. I got the thing that they said was like the least spicy thing. It was just the regular beef tacos. Took one bite and I'm just like, you fucking did me wrong.
Speaking of Don Pablo's, that reminds me, there was one here that I would, go to a couple times a year in town, not too far from my house, Don Pablo's, and I would get their dip sampler and stuff. And they closed unexpectedly. In fact, the workers didn't know that the store had closed until they showed up one day for work and the doors were locked and there was a sign on the door saying, "Oh, by the way, you're out of a job."
Oh, that's shitty.
Yeah, it's shitty to do to 50 to 70 people who work there.
Yeah, all the cooks, all the waiters and waitresses, and
that was a big old controversy when that happened here a couple of years ago.
Like, we're out of business. We ran out of tortillas, cheese, and
right.
Oh, Chinese. That was the other one.
Yeah, Chinese. There we go.
I just went to a Chinese buffet that I love recently, and man, Chinese food's so good. That's the only place that's around me that has coconut chicken, and it's so good. But you give me pork fried rice, steamed pork dumplings. I'm a big fan of General Tso's. That's pretty good. You gotta love chicken lo mein. Egg rolls are good, of course. Shrimp rolls are better though. I'm not the biggest fan of like some of the weirder options, like egg foo young is kind of gross.
That's okay. Yeah.
And it's kind of at least a little bit similar to like Mexican when it comes to like I'd rather have like a variety of things.
Right.
Like, I'd rather get like a plate of chicken with mixed vegetables or like the happy family or whatever you want to call it or something like that, and a little bit of this, a little bit of that, a little bit of pork fried rice, a little bit of white rice. Sweet and sour chicken is good, but can't just eat like handfuls of sweet and sour chicken without feeling like you're just eating chicken nuggets.
Yeah, what do you think about the soup? What's your go-to Chinese soup?
Wonton.
Oh, good. Yeah. Wonton,
Yeah.
that's the way to go. See,
Egg
I like
drop's good.
Yeah, it can be okay. Egg drop can be okay. Hot and sour, very rarely.
Not a fan of that.
Yeah. I like Chinese food. I like most Asian foods that I've tried. We have a really good Korean place here that I frequent, and they have a good mapo tofu, which is like a spicy beef with tofu. There's a what's it called? Pork bulgogi, which is that's more of a Korean dish. For Chinese, I like wonton soup. It's usually pretty safe to get fried rice, pork fried rice or chicken fried rice. I like to do that. Chicken dishes. I usually avoid beef dishes at Chinese restaurants because I really don't like it. It's usually the really thin beef. It gets kind of overcooked and a little stringy. So if I'm going for protein, I'll usually go for either the pork or the chicken or shrimp. Sometimes scallops.
The scallops to me are kind of hit or miss, but that depends on the restaurant and stuff. But
exactly.
I agree with the beef.
How they cook it. Yeah, I don't really like for whatever reason. Whenever they do beef in Chinese food, it's a little too, I don't know, too chewy, too overcooked. Maybe low quality beef or something. But yeah, you can't go wrong with. It's hard to go wrong with broccoli. Broccoli's really good.
That's easily that and snap peas or snow peas or whatever you want to call them.
Water chestnuts, like that.
Not a fan of them. Actually, they're just hard, crunchy nothing.
Oh, yeah, I know, but they're good. I like crunching.
Man, I want some Chinese food.
Yeah, man. Well, thanks, guys, for making us hungry here.
We still have another one that's food related, too, at the very least. But it's 2 questions down. We'll skip to it. We'll do it right now. Chicken wings or chicken tenders?
Oh, chicken. Now we're talking. Both. I would say.
Yeah, that's the best answer is both.
Both. Chicken tenders obviously has more of a convenience factor. Chicken wings, you feel like you've accomplished it by getting the meat off the bones. As long as you're not one of those people who just waste so much meat. Boy, that pisses me off when I see people eating chicken wings and they waste so much meat on those. I pick the bones clean. I don't know.
I have to be in the mood to eat chicken wings to eat it more often.
I agree.
Chicken tenders go more like they're more basic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, chicken tenders are kind of an all the time. Chicken wings is a little bit more of a production since you have to do the work and get your hands all dirty. Chicken tenders you could eat with a fork. So.
Yeah. You can do more with chicken tenders too. Like chicken wings, you're pretty much just eating chicken wings. Chicken tenders, maybe you put it in a sandwich. Maybe you eat it with fries. Maybe you eat it with like macaroni and cheese. You could do a bunch of different stuff like that. Wait, what did we skip here? Oh, we skipped what car do you have and what car do you like? Don't have a car right now, actually, and I don't really like cars. But I'm very much like a 4-door sedan type guy, like a Kia Optima or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Something reasonable. I don't really care. It's not like a big sports car type of person. Or I hate trucks. I hate almost everything that's not a 4-door sedan. Like you give me like a Jeep, not gonna like it. SUV, not a fan. Van, fuck that. The station wagon, disgusting.
Yeah. I have 2 vehicles. One of them is operational, but it's kind of on its last legs. The other one is currently in the garage, not operational. I need to get it fixed. The one that I drive around most of the time now is an SUV, and it's seen better days. I got it used about a year ago, and it's doing its job for right now. I did get hit. Somebody hit me while my car was parked a couple months ago, which really sucked. And my insurance only covers liability, so I had to pay for the fix out of my own pocket. They hit the driver's side where the door hits the fender, so I didn't even realize it was hit because you couldn't really see too much on the outside. But I go to open my driver's door and it won't open. Oh shit, somebody hit me. That sucks. So I had to pay and have that fixed, and it still looks ugly, but at least it works. But now I have the lovely joy of every time it rains that some water leaks in because it doesn't quite seal right anymore on the driver's door. So that sucks. So I'm going to save up some money, get a new vehicle here. The one that's garaged currently, it's a 4-door sedan. It's a Chrysler. Woo. And it does its job. As far as what kind of car I would like, I don't need a fancy or expensive car. I just want something reliable to get me from point A to point B, something that's not going to break all the time. I don't need a super powerful or large or flashy car. I'm more functional than anything when it comes to that.
I think I got the best response for what kind of a car would I like. 4-door sedan. Yep. That's free.
Yeah.
Gets good. Amazing mileage.
Mm-hmm.
That is also free. And somebody else drives. Because then I don't have to even bother going through the effort of driving, which sometimes you're just sort of like, man, I just don't feel like going anywhere.
You ever do any of the ride-sharing apps like Lyft or Uber or anything like that?
Have I ever done them, or do you driven been an Uber?
Have you ever ordered them, paid for it?
Yeah, I've been in Uber a couple times.
Okay, what do you think
never
of that?
Lyft though.
Yeah, I've never. Never Lyft. I thought you said I never left. I was like, oh, you got in the car and never left.
Yeah, never left. I'm still there.
No, I think it's great. I think it's because give taxis a run for their money. Too long they've had a stranglehold on it. I know there's other business reasons why people don't like them, saying that they're taking advantage of their workers and stuff, and it's a free market, and I think the more competition, the better. So I like what Uber and Lyft do.
Yeah, look at it this way. If you are an Uber driver and you think that you're being taken advantage of, you don't have to be an Uber driver.
Yep.
If you want to do that as your job, then you can do that as your job. I mean, it's the same thing as freelance writing.
Mm-hmm.
So if I didn't want to do this and I had another backup option that I wanted to do instead, then I would have all the reason in the world that I could just go ahead and do it. Nobody's stopping me. But I don't like the whole stranglehold, like you said, about taxis and stuff. It's crazy. The amount of money that you have to spend for a license and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Insane.
And the convenience too, because I've used taxis before Uber and Lyft were a thing. Calling a taxi and they said, oh yeah, we can have somebody there in 45 minutes to an hour, and you have no idea where they are, or you're just sitting there waiting, and then it's expensive.
Right.
And with Uber, yeah, you can track it. This is not an ad for Uber, by the way. Sounds like it. I'm just a fan.
It's an ad for Lyft.
Right. You can track them so you can see exactly how far away they are. It's way cheaper based on my experience. So good for them.
Since The Undertaker will be returning to Raw 25th anniversary, what do you think that he'll do? I don't think he's going to do anything, really, all that much.
I don't know.
There's only one thing I can see him doing, and I hope that they don't do this. Sorry. I hope that this isn't what they do. I don't want Undertaker coming out and saying, hey, Roman, you proved that this is your yard. Go beat Brock Lesnar for me. He's the other guy that beat me at WrestleMania.
Fuck.
I don't want that to happen. I'm worried about that.
Well, they had The Rock do it when he raised his hand after the Rumble. They had John Cena do it after he beat John Cena. They're just going to have... And oh, shit. If they do that at Mania, if Roman Reigns beats Brock Lesnar, and then Lesnar gives him the hand raising and says, oh, this, that would suck.
This is the guy.
Yeah. Oh, my God.
I'm worried that Undertaker's going to do that, though. No, I'm worried that they're going to tease it. All night they're going to tease well, the Undertaker's here. Is he going to look for vengeance against Roman Reigns? And he'll come out and he'll cut a promo about how for 25 years he was there and he was making Raw his yard. And then last year at WrestleMania, Roman Reigns came along and he took the ball and blah, blah, blah. And hey, you're one of only 2 people that have ever beaten me at WrestleMania. Brock Lesnar's the other guy. I want you to carry the torch, and I want you to beat him for me. It's
Damn
gonna
it.
fucking happen.
You're right. Oh, I hate that.
Mm-hmm. I would love it if instead it's just sort of like, fuck you, I'm back, I'm still wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, And I'm gonna fight Brock Lesnar and win the title at WrestleMania.
Mm.
I'd be down for that. But they might just do like some kind of funny thing. I don't know.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Who has the most potential? Sonya Deville, Mandy Rose, Ruby Riott, Liv Morgan, or Sarah Logan? This is tough because I almost kind of look at it as there's two people that don't seem like they're going to go anywhere, and the rest are fine. Mandy Rose, I haven't seen enough of her, and I got a feeling she's probably going to be the least talented both on the mic and in the ring. Definitely in the ring.
Mm-hmm.
So if she gets over that hump, maybe. But she looks like that like pet project type of thing that goes nowhere that they do all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And Sarah Logan has no personality right now.
Yeah,
she's gonna
I
have
agree.
to get over that. The rest are fine though. Like I like Sonya Deville, and Ruby Riott's proven herself enough that she's okay, and Liv Morgan's cute, so she'll get by on that.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, Ruby Riott, I think definitely has a career sticking with this. Yeah, Liv Morgan is kind of, I'm gonna say Alexa Bliss light, maybe.
Yeah.
So Mandy Rose, I don't know. Sonya Deville is kind of cool because she has, the unique kind of MMA look. Sarah Logan, I'm actually surprised that they brought her up.
Yeah, that's so weird, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about the whole idea of that? Because they brought these women up, and I don't like dislike any of them or anything like that, but I mean, Sarah Logan, like,
Yeah.
as opposed to, like, I keep mentioning the iconic duo, like that makes so much more sense. Or,
Yep.
Liv Morgan, okay, maybe. Ruby Riott makes sense. Sonya Deville was even a surprise to me. I would have thought, though, if anything, that they would have gone with, like, just bringing up, like, the iconic duo, Ember Moon,
Right.
like the ones that have been around a little bit longer than that. Nikki Cross and Sanity. Although, tapings. Who
Right.
knows?
And I know everyone's been saying the same thing the past 2 weeks, too. It's why are they doing the exact same storyline on both shows simultaneously?
I don't understand that at all. That's
It's
really bothering me.
Yeah. It's pretty much exactly the same.
And I mean, like, the similarities are crazy. It's one episode of Raw, the next episode of SmackDown, literally 24 hours later, they do the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
3 women making their debut, or in Paige's case, return, showing up. 5 out of those 6 women coming up from NXT, possibly prematurely, who knows. All heels, all attacking everybody on the roster,
Right.
heel or babyface. What's the difference?
Yeah, I don't get it. And they kind of match up too. You have Paige and Ruby Riott kind of have the dark goth look or punk look. Sarah Logan and Sonya Deville are kind of
the tough brunette.
Yeah, exactly. And then you have the cute blonde.
Yup.
Mandy Rose and Liv Morgan. So, like, I don't know.
I really don't get it. There's positives to all of them, and I hope that this all works out, but they haven't won me over yet.
I agree. I'm willing to give it a chance, but we'll see. They need to make it a little more distinct, though. Like I said, why are they doing pretty much the exact same thing on both shows at the same exact time?
Yep. This probably sounds crazy, but do you think Zelina Vega can beat Ember Moon for the NXT Women's Championship? Tainara Kanchi is my main guess. Those two, and of course the iconic duo, are the only 4 I can think of that can do that. Unless they bring in other people. I mean, Shayna Baszler, spoiler alert, she does pop up on the tapings. So Shayna Baszler is a definite possibility. I don't necessarily think I would go with Kanchi. I think it's Kanchi. I think that's how they're pronouncing it. But yeah, I mean, go with Zelina Vega. I like that idea.
I don't know. I haven't really been keeping up since the last takeover, so I'm not sure where they're going to go with it.
Well, they've only recorded the one set of the tapings last night.
Okay.
Everything else ahead of time was filmed ahead of time.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So, if you don't want to know the spoilers, then kind of put your earphones off for a second or so. But essentially, it's just Nikki Cross and Ember Moon and the Iconic Duo and Kairi Sane and Shayna Baszler, and everybody's sort of like, who's gonna fight for the title? That's basically it.
Yeah. Yeah.
A little bit of some other things too, but Kanchi doesn't seem to be really necessarily in the mix, so I don't think that she's going to be winning that title anytime soon. But just because the next person that's going to be challenging doesn't mean it's going to be the next champion either. So we're going to have to see about that. Zelina Vega, I'm pretty sure she's not going to be getting a title shot in Philly, but I would be totally cool with her winning that belt. So on the same topic here, we got, should WWE have paired Paige up with the Iconic Duo? I think it makes more sense for DeVille and Rose, but sure. You know,
I don't know. I hope they come up. I don't know if I would say the latest that they're going to come up is the night after WrestleMania.
Yeah, they have to come up at some point.
I wouldn't be surprised if they came up before then, but I would say they're at the latest.
Unless, of course, one of them wins the title. They could be there for a long while if they do that. 2018, they're coming up, though.
Oh, yeah.
Do you like the Rusev Day gimmick? I think it's already run its course.
Yeah, it's funny, but I'm not sure where they're going to go with it now.
Is Sami Zayn doing a good job as a heel?
I'm still not buying him as a total heel, but I do like some of the things that they do. He's just kind of a smart ass, chewing the gum, just
doing the same dance.
Yep. I think they need to turn him more to make him more distinct from his old persona, but so far so good, I guess.
Do you like the Usos promo work now? It's been really impressing me. Yeah, I think this is pretty much the best that they've been ever on the microphone.
I agree. Especially, going back and forth with New Day and stuff like that. I think they're doing some of their best promo work that I've seen.
You know what my favorite thing is that they've been doing lately? Going, Shelton Benjamin. I don't know why I think it's funny. They clearly think it's funny too, and it's probably a backstage thing that they just kept repeating to themselves, and eventually they're like, let's just say that on there.
Yeah, that's funny, yeah.
We have more food ones. I forgot.
Oh, wow.
Do you like salad? I talked before, I don't like tomatoes. I don't like a lot of vegetables, like cucumbers and stuff that usually go on salad, and since I don't like mayonnaise or vinegar, that kills like all dressing. But I do like going to Salad Works, and you'll all laugh at what my go-to salad is, because it's not really all that much salad. You get spring mix, now that's salad, barbecue chicken, double order of the honey barbecue chicken, turkey, dried cranberries, and apple slices.
Okay.
That's my idea of a salad.
All right.
Totally not healthy at all. And a wheat roll.
So when you make your salad, do you just put them like layer it like that, or do you like to have your salad tossed?
It depends on if they've wined and dined me ahead of time.
I do like salad. I like different kinds of salad too. In fact, that's one of my go-tos is I have just a bag of lettuce. I usually just go to the store and just buy the bag of already cut up lettuce, and just when I'm hungry, just eat that instead. I'll just get that in some fat-free dressing and put that on just to fill me up. I like Caesar salad, especially with chicken on it. I like Greek salad, Asian sesame kind of salad. I like all kinds of salad, man. It's good stuff.
You know the biggest problem with it, though? You don't win friends with it.
You don't win friends with salad.
I think there's a song about that somewhere.
But can we agree that kale is disgusting and does not belong on a salad or anywhere on my plate?
Never had it.
Ugh, kale is gross.
I know that some people make kale chips and they're all like, oh, you can't tell the difference between that and potato chips. Guaranteed I can. Haven't had it, but guaranteed I can.
Yeah, kale. Ugh.
Here's another thing that that I think is gross. The question is, do you like yogurt? Ugh, hate it.
Yeah, it's all right.
I tried some weird fucking yogurt somewhat recently because Caroline likes yogurt a lot. She's like, try this one. It's really, really good. Had like the tiniest little spoonful of it. I was just like, oh God. It's so fucking bitter. Give me ice cream.
It's all right as long as you got the right thing in it. I don't like plain yogurt. Some people just eat plain yogurt. If you have, some fruit in it or something to dress it up, then it's fine. I do like, if you go to Indian restaurants, sometimes you can get I think it's the lassi, the yogurt drink. It's kind of like not really a milkshake, but kind of like a fruity yogurt drink. Those are good. Sometimes they'll put when I do my Indian cooking, if I'm doing a curry, sometimes I'll put yogurt in there to sort of give it a little bit of a zing,
Tartness.
I guess. Yeah, a little tartness. I like yogurt to a certain extent. Occasionally I'll have it for breakfast. That's about it.
This is more my speed. What's your favorite kind of pasta? I can name a million.
Mm-hmm. I am not a huge fan of pasta.
Ugh, you're so wrong.
It's like, Mexican food is just, tortilla, meat, and lettuce and vegetables. And pasta it's just noodles and sauce. Noodles and sauce. It's like, how much starch does one person need? I'm not a big fan of noodles.
So much.
Ugh. No, not a big fan. So it's all the same. Spaghetti, ravioli, whatever. It's all the same crap. Not a big pasta fan. But I do prefer tomato sauce over like Alfredo sauce. Yeah.
I tend to go Alfredo more. We're very opposites.
I guess
these
so.
kind of things.
That's okay.
Give me tortellini Alfredo with chicken and broccoli is one of my staple meals. Shells might be my favorite, especially if it's just like you're going for like a buttered noodle thing. Shells are amazing. Or farfalle, angel hair, rotini. You just give me the fucking noodles.
It's all the same thing in different shapes.
They taste different though.
No, they
That's
don't.
The thing.
It's all
like
the same.
you can't have like bow ties in spaghetti sauce. You need something like a rigatoni.
What?
And you can't get a rigatoni and have like garlic cream. Like that's like a rotini or like a penne or man, I went to this really good Italian restaurant that I have around me the other day. I haven't been there in years. They're the type of place where it's like the dish that I ordered was $30.
Mm-hmm.
It was crab meat, veal, and spinach.
Okay.
In Alfredo sauce with a linguine. So fucking good.
I'd try it.
Man, I want so many things to eat right now. If you were the creator of The Simpsons, what would you change about it from the declining seasons? Just better writers.
Yeah, better writers. Bring back Swartzwelder.
Yeah, that's it. You get Swartzwelder and you're probably good.
Yep.
Do you watch Stranger Things? Love that show.
Love it. Yep, both seasons. Good stuff. I recommend it to everybody.
Fucking I didn't watch it until like about 2 months ago.
Oh, really?
Or so.
Oh man, oh, that's great.
Never saw the first season until Caroline got me to watch it, and we saw it at the beginning of October, I think. Binge watched it all in the span of like 2 days, and I just kept wanting to watch more and more and more. And
I would say
binge watched season 2 immediately.
Oh yeah, I would say people with Stranger Things fall into one of two camps. You're either A, you've watched it all and you love it, or B, you've never watched it and you're sick of people talking about it.
Yeah. Did you finish Stranger Things yet? I heard for a while people were just like, "Yeah, you should watch Stranger Things. It would totally be up your alley. It's all about the '80s and stuff." And I'm like, I wasn't an '80s kid. I was a '90s kid. I don't have that connection of playing.
Right, but you watched all those movies, all that genre,
Well, that's where the crossover was different to me because I had seen like the kids playing Dungeons and Dragons, and I'm like, I never played that in my life. So I was like, if that's what it is, then of course I'm not going to like it. And then it became like, I don't know, they're referencing like Empire and E.T. and whatever. And I'm like, okay, I get it now. Like, but more so, it's just the story itself. This could have been set in the current time, and I would have still liked it.
Oh yeah.
And man, did it make me want Eggos.
Yeah.
I'll tell you one thing though. Season 3, I want to see Steve get like something positive.
Yeah.
They're shitting all over that guy. He's too good. He needs to like win Nancy back or something.
Yeah, he's too good for
her. Just create another character on the show that's just like this amazing woman. She dates Steve. Nancy can be off with Jonathan, you know, moping around, laying in bed next together, not doing anything. Great show, though.
Oh, yeah.
Couple more questions around us out here, just about at the end. When was the last time that you played hide and seek? 20-something years ago.
I don't know. A few months ago, I have a 5-year-old nephew, so I think they're playing hide and seek. So yeah,
I totally forgot about that. I probably still haven't played that with my nieces or nephew. Probably was more so hide, and eventually you'll come out and go, "Why didn't you find me?"
Yep.
Oh, you had a good spot. I've been looking around for an hour.
Why are you sitting on the couch with a drink in your hand?
That's clearly that you drank most of it. I thought you would be at the bottom of the glass. You're too good. I used to like tag more than hide and seek. Especially freeze tag. That was better. What was the craziest thing that has ever happened during a game of Monopoly? Asking this because of your War Games Predictions podcast where you talked about it. I don't have any crazy stories, actually.
No.
Just like people getting pissed off at each other and eventually getting tired of the game.
Yeah, I was going to say just games that have lasted too long and people get frustrated. And I think maybe once somebody flipped the board game or something. I think that's about it. Usually
it ends up being like, all right, we've been doing this for like 4.5 hours. Let's just fucking end it already. And then you realize somebody else, like whoever's been the banker, has been cheating the whole time. And
yeah, the banker always cheats. That's why I make sure I'm the banker, because I never cheat.
Would you rather be stuck in a dog cage for an entire year or be stuck in a maze in the middle of nowhere?
For an entire year? I don't know.
You added the in the middle of nowhere, and that's what made me go dog cage. Because even if I get out of the maze, I'm still in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, why does the maze have to be in the middle of nowhere?
That's like in the desert with no water, in a maze. Also, you just got shot in the foot. It's like, fuck you. Like at that point, give me the dog cage. At least people can give me a water dish.
Yeah, gosh, that's really weird. In the maze, would I have all my essentials? Would I, all like food and everything that I would need to live my life?
I'm assuming not.
Well, then a dog cage, I guess, because
yeah,
I don't know. That's really weird.
At the very least, it implies dog cage for an entire year means that there's some source of replenishment for my food and water that I can last that entire year. There's no for an entire year for the maze in the middle of nowhere. I could be stuck in the maze for 2 days and die.
Yeah, that's true.
Or it could be like the maze for the Maze Runner, and I'll be there for 20 minutes and die. 3 more questions left. That's where we're at. If you were in charge of WWE, how and what match would you build towards if Undertaker were to return? I hate to say it, but I don't want him to. But if he did, it would have to be against John Cena.
Yeah, I'd say pretty much the same. I would prefer that he doesn't. The way he went out was too perfect. We don't want it to be like with Ric Flair when he had that perfect retirement and then he went on, to work for other companies and it just was not as good. So have him not. And if he does, yeah, Cena would be appropriate.
The only other person I could see is Sting, but Sting's not going to come back either. So
no, maybe a couple of years ago people were talking about that would have been a good match, but at this point, I think we're at least 5 years too late on that.
Where's No Way Jose? Would you be interested in him feuding with the Velveteen Dream? I actually like No Way Jose quite a bit, more than I thought that I ever would. And Velveteen Dream is fucking awesome. So, yeah, put him up for a feud. I'm cool with it.
Yeah, Velveteen Dream at TakeOver, that was a fantastic match. So I'd be interested in seeing him. Not a huge No Way Jose fan. He's all right. But I think they'd work well together. I'd be interested in seeing that.
And our last question, who's your favorite singer right now? Frankie's is Ed Sheeran. I have never had a favorite singer, musician, or band ever.
That's so weird.
Yep. I know I'm 100% sure I am the weird one when it comes to that. I care about each particular song, not any of the people that do it. If you told me that every song that I liked in my whole 4,500 or so that are in my MP3 player. In my collection, if you told me that they're all Elton John, I'd be like, all right, cool. Elton John's got a weird voice once in a while because he sounds like Lady Gaga, or he sounds like AC/DC, or you know what I mean? Like, or sometimes he composed Beethoven stuff. Like, it's just, you know, give me the particular song.
Yeah. If we're talking like current artists, I would probably say Bruno Mars, Selena Gomez, Lady Gaga. If we're talking about all time, then I'd have to say Freddie Mercury, John Lennon, David Bowie, and John Linnell of They Might Be Giants. Not necessarily in that order, though.
You have a least favorite?
For some reason, I just really don't like Bob Seger. I get a lot of shit for that, but I've never been a fan. I just don't like the tone of his voice. Doesn't do it for me. Yeah, anytime his music comes on the radio or anything, I can change it if I can. So Bob Seger, I'd say.
What's his like main song and stuff? Because I don't know off the top of my head.
He does. Let's see. He does old time rock and roll.
How's that go?
Yeah, just take those old records off the shelf.
Yeah. Not a fan.
He also does. Let's see. Turn the page. Against the wind, working on the night moves like a rock.
Oh, is that song that was always used for like Toyota or some shit?
Yeah, I think it was Ford trucks or something. But yeah,
oh, like a rock.
Oh, like a rock. He always sort of talks like this, and he says, "I'm not a fan." Oh, fuck that guy, man.
I'm gonna say something very controversial here.
What?
I do not like any songs from the Beatles or Elvis.
Oh, fuck you.
I like, there's a cover version of Falling in Love with You. Or, I don't know the technical... I can't help
falling in love with you, yeah.
I know, like, the name of it's, like, fucking long forever, but... Yeah, there's a cover I found on YouTube recently of some girl, like, I don't remember her name. It's not Valina. I know that.
Yeah.
Then I was listening to that and I was just kind of like, wow, that's really good. I like that a lot. It's a shame that Elvis can't sing like that. And it's just, I have no appreciation for either of them. And I know that they're like the two that everybody goes nuts over. I know that they are huge as far as like influential, but I don't like their voices. And I think that their songs are kind of annoying. And now that everybody's claiming heresy, but like Elvis, the whole like, I'm like, I don't like that. It's just,
I do think Elvis gets more praise than he should. I would say overrated. He's wonderful, but he's overrated. The Beatles, I think, no, you can't top that. Fantastic. And I've always kind of had the theory that if somebody isn't a fan of the Beatles, they say, "Oh, I don't like the Beatles." Then you've probably only heard the stuff they play on the radio. You probably haven't gone through and like listened to the rest of the catalog because they have some really, really good stuff.
Maybe, but I kind of also like I tend not to like anything that's really too old. A lot of times, just like the style of what, like I hate like big band music, or
Jesus, Tony.
Like it's like very rare for me to find like a song from older decades from like the 70s back that I don't find annoying, because a lot of it's kind of just like I hate as much as I love the song Staying Alive, I don't like anything else by the Bee Gees.
Wow, I'm kind of the opposite. I like the Bee Gees stuff before they went all disco-y. I'm not a huge fan of disco in general, but there's stuff before that I would say was even more enjoyable to me.
You like girly stuff, borderline?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like the Beatles thing to me is sort of like, I think if you had the same type of song with like a modern edge to it, I'd like it a lot more. Like
I say, but admittedly, you're the guy who says you don't really like music and you don't have any favorite bands. So
right, yeah,
that kind of shows what your opinion is worth there.
It's the kind of thing where it's sort of like movies, I guess. Like Citizen Kane, if I transport myself back to when that came out, hugely impressive and just amazing. I watch it now and I'm like, if somebody did the movie now and we ignore the fact that like that was so influential for all these other kind of things and we wouldn't have the type of story structure and like blah, 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 blah. Ignore all that kind of stuff. Somebody did a movie now and we had all that stuff already. Everybody would go, it's okay, kind of a thing. And I think that a lot of people tend to think that movies and music and TV shows and stuff, a lot of classics, I think, get revered just because they're classics. Like, I don't know how many people are like, Marilyn Monroe is the most beautiful woman ever. Oh, fuck you. If Marilyn Monroe was standing in front of you right now and 30 other models were in front of you, you'd look at her and think that she was fat the way that nowadays. You know what I mean? So, with somebody like the Beatles, it's like that, She Loves You, Yeah, Yeah, or whatever it is. Or She Loves Me, or how's that song go?
She Loves You.
She Loves You. Okay, I thought it was She Loves You. I just find it annoying. It's just like, Hey Jude. I love Hey Jude until I start repeating it over and over again for fucking 15 minutes. Yeah, and at that point, I'm like, no. I have a lounge version of Hey Jude of some random woman singing it. I like that one.
Hey Jude is one of my least favorite Beatles songs, by the way.
I still want to know that really ripping lentil soup, though. That recipe. If they do that, maybe that'll put me off. But even when it comes to Paul McCartney and the Wings, Live and Let Die is one of my least favorite Bond themes. And people go crazy over it. People love it. And I can't listen to it all that often because it's just like this boppy... It doesn't sound like a Bond theme to me.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like a Bond theme, but I think as a song, it's a great song.
There's
I don't think it's one of the better
Bond
themes, but yeah.
I mean, you can't listen to like, what does it matter to you? I'm not going to be like, all right, I'm going to bob my head a little bit, but nah, give me like Skyfall or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Ed Sheeran, though, I don't really know much about him. He is somebody who I've heard the name of all over the place, but recently I was watching an episode of the, I think it was Adults React, the React channel, the Fine Brothers, and they did modern music, and there were like 3 or 4 songs on there that that's how I end up coming across most of the songs that I like nowadays, are it's either commercials on TV, usually car commercials, or like things like the random YouTube stuff like that. And there was an Ed Sheeran song called Perfect, and I was just like, I really like this song. So at least he's got one song I like.
See, Ed Sheeran to me, he's okay. It's just he doesn't really seem to have anything that makes him stand out from a million other performers out there.
Yeah.
He doesn't have I don't think he has a really distinct voice. I don't think his songwriting is necessarily great. I think he's very average.
I couldn't pick him out of a crowd, and
yeah,
that's for voice, for
I don't think I'm not saying appearance. He's bad. He's not bad, but I just don't think I don't understand the great amount of love that he gets. He's all right.
Is he good looking? Is that why?
Not really. I mean, he looks kind of quirky. He's kind of a ginger kid. Right?
Oh, that's right. He's a dude that kind of looks like Donald Gleason, right?
Yeah. He's kind of a goofy looking ginger.
I guess it's all those people that grew up with Ron Weasley.
Yeah. That's a Harry Potter thing, right? Yeah.
All right, well, those are the mailbag questions you guys submitted for November. The next mailbag, if you weren't able to submit one in time, is going to be coming up pretty soon, because with December, at the end of the year, it's always hard to kind of like rearrange the way that we plan things out. Next week, I don't know what our main event is going to be, and I don't even know what my schedule is going to be, so I need to get your suggestions and what you would like to see, some potential options. The week after that is going to be Clash of Champions, so... for episode 315, I think is what it is. That's going to be the predictions and then the post show, of course. And then the week after that is going to be the mailbag. So you only have really 2 weeks to send in your mailbag questions, because right after that, I mean, that mailbag is going to be happening around December 20th. Then we got Christmas, we've got New Year's, and in between, somewhere in the mix there, maybe December 27th or something like that, 2017 Smark Out Moment Awards.
Yeah.
So the post of the breakdown of all the awards that are happening this year is going to be posted on the website tomorrow, December 1st. We're recording this mailbag on the 30th, by the way. And you'll have plenty of time to start writing up your lists and stuff like that. But in the meantime, start writing up your mailbag questions as soon as possible. Submit them as soon as possible as well. So a little bit less than a month from now, when we get around to them, will actually, have answers and stuff like that. So take that into account. And if you want to be aware of when all these things come out, make sure you hit that subscribe button on the YouTube channel and ring the bell. Check off that you want notifications. If you are listening on iTunes and Stitcher, then follow us on Facebook and Twitter at Smark Out Moment. And of course, always check out smarkoutmoment.com, because not only do we have the podcast material, we also have the other type of articles on the website, the weeklies and, different things like that. So do all that kind of stuff. Make sure you follow Kalen over at his stuff. Kalen, go ahead.
My stuff. Yes, the stuff. Make sure you check out Northwest Ohio Wrestling on Facebook. If you're in the Ohio, Michigan, Indiana, Pennsylvania, anywhere in that area. We do live wrestling shows. We're not doing any more for 2017. We're all done for the year. But we got shows coming up in 2018, basically the first Saturday of every month. We're going to be doing live shows here in Toledo. So make sure you give us a like on Facebook at Northwest Ohio Wrestling. And if you're looking for some entertainment, if you want to play some fun games, check out sporcle.com. That's sporcle.com. Sometimes Tony will play some games here on the channel and upload those games that he plays. But if you want to test your knowledge in WWE or any other category, check out, we got hundreds of thousands of quizzes that you can test yourself. So check it out. And we got live games too. Check out the live games we got going all over the country every night of the week.
Yeah, go ahead and do that. And if you are curious about the last question that I did for that, or questions, trivia, it was War Games. I did better than I thought I was going to do. Yeah, so that's it. Thanks for listening, everybody. Make sure you leave your comments below. Tell us what you think about these questions and any of the answers that you want to chime in for your answers. Maybe you've got some different opinions about the best Chinese food, or you agree or disagree with our differentiating opinions on like school topics and different things like that. Where it's going to be the happy medium, where we're going to get people that are like, I like gym class, that kind of thing. And that'll do us in for this episode, though. Thanks again, as I already said, for listening to this, everybody. This has been another Smark Out Moment, and we are being counted out. 5,